Welcome back to Steele and Vance. Time to talk scamming, phishing, Black Friday sales. Click now, click now. You have to click now or this is going to go away.
Every day. Well,
Every day.
Maybe not every day. Every couple of days, I get a scam text. I got one today, allegedly from Canada Post. I get one of those phone calls that's in Chinese or something.
I got two of those today.
I get emails like, you've won a prize. Click here. It goes on and on and on. And I'm mostly, because I have a consumer investigative background, I'm mostly, suspicious. But on occasion, I've come really close to going, because you're so busy.
Yeah.
And I think I hate
I want my
scammers.
Canada Post to be delivered. What does it mean it's stuck somewhere? I don't want that. Don't do it. We need to know more about the big red flags that are out there, especially as we stare down Black Friday, right?
Exactly. That's the thing. The holiday cyber scammers are out in full force, and oh man, are they after your money or your identity. So let's talk to someone who can give us some tips on how to protect ourselves.
Probably the most regular guest that we have here on Steele and Vance. Chiming in all the way from Vancouver Island, Jesse Miller of Mediated Reality, our social media expert and cybersecurity expert. You do help many of us sort of navigate what could be very nefarious clickbait. Jesse.
Yeah, there's a lot of clickbait out there that gets sent to our mobile devices, whether it be from a social media alert or through a text message. And to be fair, the scams are getting more sophisticated. They're going to a number of platforms that most of us would think are very community minded. We're seeing a huge increase in our community Facebook groups where people will join them. You think that's a person in your neighborhood. There's a post history. They will actually create some dialogue to make themselves look more legitimate. But to your very valid introduction, we're seeing the Canada Post scams. We're seeing the increases from Amazon or even the threats from CRA as a more continual piece. But it is a lot of number-generated content that isn't necessarily anything legitimate. It's just hoping somebody's going to bite. And that's what those phishing scams are very good at doing.
Yeah, and so talk about the things we can do to protect ourselves, because I do have two-factor authentication on...
Same.
As far as I know, on everything, and yet I'm still getting people somehow getting access to both my email or even my phone number sometimes. What more can I do?
Well, a couple of points there. One, two-factor authentication is necessary. I think some people are very stymied by the idea of having to do multiple things on their devices. They don't like the extra work. They like the convenience of just kind of verifying something once. And again, it is more difficult, obviously, to regain parts of your identity. So why not just take the extra effort to kind of take the steps with the platforms that are available. But when it comes down to the idea of buying things, why not take the steps to use the apps themselves? Verify something using the Amazon app or the Canada Post app itself. Like, you can track within the app and send you notifications, but don't just believe what you see in a text. Go to your email, double down on verification, and that's where you will do your own due diligence and most likely buy something legitimate and have it sent in a legitimate format. But one of the things that we also see people doing is the pop-ups on their social media feeds. So those Instagram feeds that are showing you something that looks really great deal, and then you buy it, you pay really easily through your Apple Pay or through your PayPal, and then it never gets sent in the first place.
Right.
And so those kind of products, they originate out of country. It's easy to send, but within that, nothing actually gets sent. So a little bit of due diligence of who you're buying from, a little bit of due diligence in making sure that you have good shipping information, and also know your own device and know your preferred forms of notification, not just ones that show up on the screen and hope that you click.
All right, we're all going to save money, have fun shopping on Black Friday, but not get scammed, because if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. You're not too good to be true, Jesse. You're keeping us safe. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you. And a quick note, if people are buying locally, make sure you're willing to meet somewhere safe, like a police station. And if the seller doesn't want to do that, don't buy from them.
Yeah, love it.
That is
Jesse Miller from Mediated Reality. Thank you so much. Here's another tip. They spoof Canada Post or Amazon or whatever. Go when you get the email, click on the drop down, see what the actual email is. It's likely Tyler 11773, whatever. That's a scammer. So that's a fast way.
That is a really good first step. And if you think you have been scammed, don't be shameful about it and keep it quiet. You want to contact your bank. You want to lock your credit card. Do the things that are the due diligence there. All right.
Coming up next on Steele and Vance, it's Movember, so we're going to talk men's health. Specifically, what's new in the fight against prostate cancer with the head of the Vancouver Prostate Center next.
It is not going to be painful, so make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, time for our viewing party photos. Jeremiah in Vancouver.
Lorraine in Port Alberni.
We've got Maureen in Vancouver. Oh,
and we have Michelle in Coquitlam.
Maureen, we'll get your photo in. You're still in the draw for the White Spot gift card. Sorry about that. Viewing party at chekmedia.ca is how you can enter right now.